All right, a second template would be, which I'm a little, don't know if I should use. Actually, is this the one I just showed you?
No.
Okay. All right, so here is another example. Many people think that garbage is the stuff you leave on the curb for the sanitation men to take. They think it is too old, gross, or disgusting to be sitting in their houses. They probably tell themselves they need to get rid of it because there is no use for it whatsoever. You know what, people? You should think again. I've come to realize that garbage is hidden treasures that can be turned into beautiful prized possessions that adorn a household. So once again, the first sentence states the opposite of your thesis, and then the next sentence adds more detail. But then the third sentence, this is really important. You need a transition to your thesis. So if you look right here where it says, you know what, people? You should think again. That's your transitional sentence. All right? And then your thesis is the very last sentence. So we're going to try this. All right? We're going to take the thesis transitioning from 5th to 6th grade is hard. Okay. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share this document through your Google Drive. So what I want you to do is after I share, check your email, and I'm going to open it up. So this way you have the two models in front of you. Because in order to do this, you need to have the models in front of you. This is not a good one because they didn't follow the pattern, this person. So they start off pretty good. All right, they're stating the opposite of what people think. But then they don't offer any, there's no additional details about what people think, all right? And then the other thing they did that was not good is they put the parts, or they put how they're going to prove it. So then you're really left with two sentences. So what we're going to do now is we are going to try this, okay? So you got your models. So we're going to do with the thesis, transitioning from 5th to 6th grade is difficult. Okay, so looking at the models, this is what we came up with. It says, many 5th graders think that transitioning from 5th to 6th grade is easy. They think it's going to be cool, getting lockers and strolling through the hallways, taking their, I'd probably put, sweet old time to get to their classes. Then they are under the impression that they can talk to their friends whenever they want. Here's my transitional sentence. Boy, are they wrong. And then my thesis, transitioning from 5th to 6th grade is challenging. So this is how you do it. But you have to remember, this does not work for every single thesis. All right? So in that case, I have additional strategies. Okay, so if you look at this one, this is using a template again. And I don't know if I want to do this one, but I'll try it anyway because it's a series of questions. So remember how I said, starting with the question is very elementary? It doesn't have to be if you do it in a sophisticated kind of way. So if you look, you start off with, have you ever wondered, wanted to know, and then I have found. So go ahead and just read this on your own, and we'll talk about it in a mature way. Starting off with the topic of my thesis. So my topic is all about being a girl. Crying at the drop of a hat, enduring changes in our body that even we don't understand, worrying about our appearances all the time, having the scale be our biggest enemy. Well, let me tell you, being a girl is tough. So you can start off with a question, but I added additional details that relate to that topic. All right, so it's not just starting off with a series of questions. So the first sentence states your idea of the thesis. Then the second and third and fourth sentence includes a series of questions or thoughts about the thesis. And then the fifth sentence, or around the fifth sentence, you state your thesis. So this is another option. Okay? All right, so then ignore that because I said we do not want to state our reasons or ways. All right. So now, here's another example. Go ahead and read it to yourself. Okay, it has a series of what you call rhetorical questions. They're questions to get the reader to think. All right? Have you ever had to drag yourself out of bed in the morning, force yourself onto that school bus only to have what little dignity left to be taken away by the school predator? Do you understand how hard it is to find that secret corner, your only safe haven from ridicule, beatings, and pure torture? Do you know what it's like to get knocked down? Keep getting knocked down, day after day, wanting to never get up again? I have news for you. It's not fun. Nothing good comes out of bullying. So it's a series of thought-provoking, rhetorical questions. Okay? All right. The other thing you can do is, there are quotes from millions and millions of people, and there's an app that you can go to, like on your Chromes, there's go to the Google Chrome store. You can find a whole book of quotes, not right now though. So what you can do is you can pick a quote that relates to your topic and start off with that. Have any of you girls ever read the book, Amazing Days of Abby Hayes? Okay, so in this book, basically, she starts off with a quote for each book from her calendar. And then the first sentence relates to the quote. So, for example, this one starts off, the quote, she gets these quotes from her calendar. It says, good things come in small packages, right? That's the quote from her calendar. Then the first paragraph reads, that's what Miss Cantor told us yesterday. As a special project for the holidays, our class will make small packages of good things. We will send them to kids whose families can't afford presents. So you have to make sure when you're using a quote that you relate it and incorporate it to your thesis. So this one says, famous 16th century English essayist Joseph Addison once said, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. So I start off with a quote, I incorporated the quote in there, but now I'm relating it. Unfortunately, the students in the Fillborough School District have not been able to exercise their brain this school year. Why, you might be asking yourself? You see, the school libraries have been unobtainable to the student body, subsequently causing less reading to occur. Don't administration understand? Reading is a crucial part of learning. Okay, so I started off with a quote. How many of you think you could start off yours with a quote? So like my Blueberry kid who's doing the Blueberry one, could he start off with a quote? Probably not. All right, give me a thesis that you think would definitely work with a quote. Hands are off the computers. So I taught this briefly to you last week, is you can actually start off with a hypothetical situation where you're telling the story about a situation that really didn't occur but could have occurred that relates to your thesis. So if you look up here and read this to yourself, and then we'll discuss it. You have to be careful with hypothetical situations. If you're using them throughout your body paragraphs, would you want to use in your introduction also? No. Okay, so it's the same thing. You're just presenting them with the situation that could occur that relates to your thesis. All right. Now the next one is, you know how to, actually here's another, no. Okay, the next one is, you know how to do this. You can actually start off with a mini story. Okay. However, if you keep using mini stories in your body paragraphs, would you want to start off with a mini story? No. So this says, get up, Dana. You have to get ready for school, my husband whispered to me. I ignored him and then kicked him in the leg. Ouch, what did you do that for? He demanded. If I could, I would have kicked him in the head, but I was too tired to raise my foot that high. Why did I kick him in the leg? Gee, let me tell you. This is the 6th night in a row I haven't gotten a wink of sleep because of his snoring. After 5 years, he still doesn't get it. His snoring affects me greatly. Then I would actually delete this. I don't want this in there. So I'm telling like a little mini story. But like I said, if you use this in your body paragraphs so much, you don't want to use it in your intro. So when you come back from lunch, we're going to try this again. All right?